There's two issues I want to talk about from Zero Hedge both. And I remember doing a video on this first one several months back last year. The stupid Philadelphia soda tax. I said, what the hell are they doing? The person went and bought a little can or case of soda, and they're like, whoa. They showed the receipt, the such and such tax. And it was like, again, half as much as the soda was. And they were like, that's it. I'm not, this is not going to end well. The city needs tax money. We need revenue. This is our brilliant idea. We knew it wasn't going to work well. We knew it was going to be an absolute epic failure. And I'm absolutely pleased as punch, to announce that it was absolutely an epic failure. The numbers are in. The numbers are in. The data is here. How did it work out for that town? The government, that is, collecting that massive tax. Did the people put up with it? Or did they go shop somewhere else outside of the zone where the tax isn't imposed? And what has happened to the revenue the government was hoping to get? Zero Hedge. Philadelphia soda tax leads to a 30 to 50% plunge in sales and mass layoffs. If government could just stay the F out of our effing lives, stop meddling with our affairs, stop meddling with our lives, get the F away from us, things would be so much greater. When the founding fathers created this country, it was on a minimalist government approach. Now, government is the all-encompassing vampire squid like Goldman Sachs. Matter of fact, Goldman Sachs might be the head and brain of that vampire squid. When Philadelphia became the first U.S. city to pass a soda tax last summer, city officials were eagerly looking forward to the surplus tax-funded windfall to plug gaping budget deficits. And since this is Philadelphia, the occasional embezzlement scheme. Then 1 month ago, after the tax went into effect on January 1st, because that's when it was set to go, right? Remember? We showed the tax applied in practice, a receipt for a 10-pack of flavored water, which carried a 51% beverage tax. And since Philadelphia has a sales tax of 6%, and Philly already charges another 2%, the total tax was 8%. In other words, a purchase which until last year came to $6.42 had overnight become $9.75. So what happened next? Precisely what most expected would happen. Full-blown sticker shock and a collapse in purchases. This isn't great, but this, the information, how did it end? What happened is fantastic for guys like me who want to know, when the government does this, how does it affect people, and how does it indirectly affect people, and how does it affect or indirectly affect the stores and the employees, like all this stuff. Because the government just sees, we need to raise taxes. Let's create a sugar tax or whatever on soda. Yeah, we'll plug those budget shortfalls, no sweat. So you're going to hear what happened and how it affected or indirectly affected quite a few people in the process. According to Philly.com, they report that 2 months into the city's sweetened beverage tax, supermarkets and distributors are reporting a 30 to 50% drop in beverage sales, and, adding insult to injury, are now planning for layoffs. One of the city's largest distributors told the Philadelphia website it would cut 20% of its workforce in March. And an owner of 6 ShopRite stores in Philadelphia says he expects to shed 300 workers this spring. People are seeing sales decline larger than anything they've seen up to this point in the city, said Alex Beloga, Vice President of External Relations at the Pennsylvania Food Merchants Association. Another association? My God! I just got done saying in the last video, boy, is there a lot of associations, isn't there? Jiminy crickets. So, the city, who needs tax money, is causing layoffs, panic. Another part of this, they're reporting a 30 to 50% drop in beverage sales. That means the other imbecile sheep are saying, I don't care, I got to have my soda and I want it and I'm just going to pay it. I'm going to pay this highway robbery fee because I just want my soda and my sugar. Why don't you go a little further down the block, outside the city limits, and stock up on a few things? Nah, it's too much work. I'm a consumer, and I have been programmed to consume no matter what the cost. Remember what my mom said when she moved in with my sister? It hadn't hit her yet that she was like kind of in poverty. I refuse to live in poverty. Mom, you can't afford to buy that. You got to stop doing that. I refuse to live in poverty. You can refuse all you want. But nature has a way of forcing its will upon you, Mom. So I try to give my mom some kind of, what do you call it? Well, she can't really afford to go out and eat, really. So on the weekends, Mom, you want to go to breakfast with us? Jason Up 4 and his subscribers through the YouTube ads are going to pay the bill on this one. Mom, my subscribers love you. They're going to help out on this one. Just kidding. But in reality, any money source obviously goes to whatever the hell you spend it on. So my mom comes, it's not even a question. Mom, I'll pay for your breakfast. It's all good. Because who wants to be trapped in a house constantly thinking in their mind, I am in poverty. I don't want to live in poverty. I refuse to live like this, but I'm living like this. Like, Mom, let me take you out. Can we go to lunch or something? Yeah, I got you. Come out, have a little chat, get out of the house. She lives with my sister. But I think my mom, in all honesty, if you asked me if I was a betting man, Jason, if this was your city that your mom was living in, would she, maybe she likes her diet soda or something or whatever, which I don't even know, but assuming she had a diet soda she liked or any soda, would she be one of the ones to go and buy it and pay the exorbitant fee? I wouldn't even be able to take a breath. I would have already cut you off mid-sentence. Absolutely, my mom would be down there buying that soda, paying that tax, and being screamed at by my sister. You're not even paying me rent, and you're paying 50% tax on it. That's exactly how it would go. In case you're wondering, just thought I'd share some little personal information with you, a little bonus. Since all this is taking place as previewed in a recent report, which is the Soda Police just learned a valuable lesson about taxes, we doubt it would come as a surprise to anyone, although we are confident that Philadelphia city workers will be amazed by these unexpected developments. Sure enough, in response, instead of admitting the tax was a bad decision, the city lashed out by launching the latest fake news campaign when it questioned the legitimacy of the early figures and predicted that customers responding to the initial sticker shock by shopping outside the city would return. Quote, we have no way of knowing if their sales figures and predicted job losses are anything more than fear-mongering to prevent this from happening in other cities, said city spokesman Mike Dunn. Mayor Kenny, or is it Keeney, harshly rebuked reports of the coming layoffs late Tuesday night. Quote, I didn't think it was possible for the soda industry to be any greedier, Kenny said in an emailed statement. They are so committed to stopping this tax from spreading to other cities that they are not only passing the tax they should be paying on to the consumer, they are actually willing to threaten working men and women's jobs rather than marginally reduce their 7-figure bonuses. End quote. Sounds like a government official to me. The 1.5% per ounce tax on sweetened and diet beverages is funding nearly 2,000 pre-K seats this year, as well as several community schools. And the city hopes will bring in $92 million per year for the education programs and to in part fund renovated parks and recreation centers. To hit its annual target, the city needs to collect $7.6 million per month in tax revenue. The first collection was due February 21st, but collection information won't be available till next month. Early projections from the city's quarterly manager's report predict only $2.3 million will come through. Again, it needs $7.6 million in the first collection. And Dunn says that figure is expected to rise, and the city still anticipates hitting its goal for the year. I'm going to wish you a lot of luck on that, you bumbling idiot government city employees. The city predicted a 27% sales decline industry-wide as a result of the tax, but early returns from some beverage sellers show far higher losses, fueling a resurgence of the anti-soda tax coalition that fought vigorously against the tax last summer. Bob Brockway, Chief Operating Officer of Canada Dry Delaware Valley, which distributes about 20% of the city's soft drinks, said sales were down 45% in Philadelphia. The company will lay off 20% of its workforce the first week in March. The distributor is a subsidiary of Honickman Affiliates owned by Harold Honickman, who helped lead the opposition to the tax last summer. The 35 jobs on the line include managers, salespeople, and drivers. Brockway said sales are up about 20% in the suburbs, but that hasn't helped the business break even, he said. So the outer cities saw an increase because the people who were getting charged the crap out of them were going to the suburbs. But even that's only a 20% increase, which means out of the 50% people who stopped buying the soda, 20% of them went elsewhere to buy it. The other 30% said, to hell with this, I'm not going to buy it. Which is a good health decision, but sucks for the employees and sucks for the city. Sorry, city. Sorry about your luck. And if you could just clean up the whole school system in tenure and pension and union and sitting on the board numbers, we've got the county school board number 1, school board number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, district 18, 19, 20, all these cush jobs, huge payroll, pensions. Get rid of this crap. Get rid of these. Fire those people. And you won't even have to worry. Matter of fact, you'll be lowering taxes. You're going to make a massive announcement to the city folk. City folk, we're lowering taxes across the board next year because we're getting rid of this nonsense school board crap, which mostly is funded by your property taxes. Unbelievable. On the whole, the company's sales are down about 30%, Brockway said. We don't anticipate people coming back, he said. The situation is worse at other outlets. Jeff Brown, CEO of Brown's Superstores, which manages 6 ShopRite stores in the city, said beverage sales were down 50% from January 1st to February 17th compared with the same period in 2016. Again, that was to be expected, but what is more troubling is a 15% dip in overall sales at city stores, meaning that instead of merely reallocating funds, the tax has resulted in a net loss of purchasing power. Quote, people didn't change what they drink, Brown said. They changed where they're buying it, and the biggest loser, the city of Philadelphia. But it gets even worse. But wait, there's more. Since January, Brown said he has had to cut 6,000 employee hours, he said, and also said he suspects he will lose about 300 people, which amounts to 1/5 of his total workforce, voluntarily and through layoffs in coming months. To keep customers, Brown has ordered more tea and lemonade powders, which are tax exempt. He's stocking shelves with lower quantity sugary drinks. Like I say, how could you get lower quality sugary drinks? They're already crap. Lower quantity sugary drinks, which are easier to sell than the 2-liter bottles or 12 packs. Days Beverages, an independent soft drink distributor, has seen a steep decline in Philadelphia, offset by 50% boost in Camden, Wilmington, In Bensalem, owner David Day said. Day also distributes to 18 other states, but Philadelphia makes up 30% of his market. His carryout business has ballooned since the tax, he said. Day is a registered distributor with the city and required to remit a monthly payment on any taxed beverages that go on to be sold in Philadelphia. He sent payment in last week for deliveries he made through Philadelphia, but Day doesn't tax people coming in to buy soda directly from his warehouse. We're 1 block out of Philadelphia in Delaware County, and you can't imagine how many stores are coming to our warehouse and picking up our soda. I don't care what they do. They're coming here as a cash and carry. Our doors are open to everyone, he said. We don't police what's going on here. You got that right. Oh, you're charging a tax? Great. I'm 1 block outside the city. I'm the closest place you can go to get your sugary drink fix. I'm 1 block outside the city, folks. Come on in. Everyone's approved. Another loser, labor unions. Danny Grace, head of the Teamsters Union, representing many of the drivers, said members have seen pay cuts by as much as 70% because they're moving fewer products. Many of them have quit as a result. He did not provide specific figures. Not surprisingly, legal challenges against the soda tax persist. The Pennsylvania Food Merchants Association, in conjunction with movie theaters, restaurants, and supermarkets, is mounting a new Axe the Bev tax campaign this week. Participating businesses will hang up signs encouraging people to call their elected representatives. Some legislators in Harrisburg weighed in this month with an amicus brief calling on the court to overturn the tax. Within City Hall, legislators are taking a wait-and-see approach. Some council members have encouraged patience. Initially, people are upset and drive over the city line, but then they do the math and realize the cost of gas or the pure inconvenience just doesn't make it worth, Mr. Old Dunn said. Well, apparently not, because they're still doing it and they've had enough. J. Dell Connor is one of the 210 distributors registered with the city. He owns Dr. Physic Soda, a tiny beverage maker that sells about 500 cases a year. The soda is named after Connor's great-great-great-grandfather, a Philadelphia pharmacist who introduced carbonated water into fruit syrup as a way to help relieve gastric disorders. Connor usually sells about 10 cases a month in winter, but didn't send any money to the city this month. So far in January and February, we've had no sales, he said. 0. Again, government, get the F out of our lives. You know what the courts are going to find? Well, the city, the county, etc., they have the right to tax and create tax. There's no law that says they can't make an outrageous tax. It's in the books. And you people voted for these guys. They didn't walk in by chance. You voted for them. So you voted for their policies. It's your fault. That's what they're going to tell you. And you're going to say, well, yeah, but I voted for them on campaign promises. No one said anything about massive soda tax hikes. Right. So now, whenever the next time to vote someone in, and it could be years away, maybe you'll deal with it. But by then, God knows what will happen to the economy in your area and the job losses and everything that goes with it. And I'll end it by saying my sister has a message for all of you being affected by this. Nobody said life was fair. Nobody said life was fair. And I always think of that. Yeah, but it could be. It could be fair for all of us if our government did what it's supposed to do, which part of it is making things fair for everybody, a market that's fair to everybody, not an elite group or bureaucrats over here making backroom deals over there, losing taxpayer money, funding for crap so their buddies get rich. Oh, we need more money now. Well, I can't tell the people it's because I've spent it recklessly. I'll just tell them it's for the schools, it's for the children, it's for pre-K, it's for parks and recreation. And we're going to tax the crap out of your soda to pay for this. I suggest that people start filing Freedom of Information Act requests to the city on every flippin' dime they've spent over the last 2-3 years and see what you turn up. I guarantee you'll be able to find ways to save all the money that they need without having to tax you. Will somebody do that? Probably not. I'm too busy. I don't have time for this nonsense. Leave me alone. I wanted to get to work and get home. I just don't want to deal with this. Just leave me alone. But they're not going to leave you alone. There'll be another tax. Your housing tax, your property taxes may end up going up. They may introduce a new tax. A water tax. Who knows? Take care.